We've seen a lot of college programs add GM positions that are more similar to like front office roles in the NFL because you have the revenue cap coming and revenue share and all these different pieces that are different. Like that GM position in college kind of used to be like more of a player personnel position, like a recruiting position. Now those are shifting. So it does feel like the right time. Like we've seen other NFL coaches come into college or NFL figures, right? Andrew Luck at Stanford, Ron Rivera at Cal, kind of taking over these GM type roles. I poked fun at people who thought like a year ago that like, oh my God, college football is too hard. Everyone's leaving. They're fleeing to the NFL. And now there's been so many NFL names coming into college. But to me, it makes a lot of sense because you have a sport that is professionalizing. It's not the same, but it's still the feeder system into the NFL. And so the familiarity, the understanding of like what it takes to get there, I understand that from a recruiting pool, but also just like the systems that are in place are looking a lot more like each other. And so I think it's great for college football that these guys want to get involved. They want to help out their alma maters. They want to, be there as it's changing under their feet. Is there anything you've noticed as this trend has kind of shifted from now NFL guys coming into college?
Well, it's the Wild West, and I think it took a few years for everybody to adapt to it and get caught up to speed on the different dynamics of paying players, the recruiting, the transfer portal, all the different dynamics that go into college athletics, particularly in football, because it's such a large revenue stream. And so the GM position is going to be such a valued position because it creates that separation between the player and the coach. If the coach is sitting there doing the recruiting, trying to re-recruit your players every year, going into the transfer portal, all those different aspects, and then have to make decisions on money, then I also think that you're going to have certain players that are pissed off from one year to the next, and they're going to blame the coach, and it's going to take away from what they're doing on the field versus having that separation of power, having a GM be the bad guy if he needs to, be the good guy if he needs to, but making those difficult decisions based on where this money goes, how much we have, being able to explain that to certain families. It's really an important position as we evolve in the sport of college football and as it becomes professionalized, because at the end of the day, we can still call it an amateur sport. But anytime a guy like Carson Beck goes to Miami and is going to make potentially $10 million in a year, you're sitting there going, wait, this is a professional sport. That's a pretty good revenue stream right there. So the GM is going to be a position that I think every university will make a place for over these next 5 years.
Yeah, and I think in all the major sports, they are going to be super, super important.
Watch the new NBC Sports Now channel. Enjoy sports talk covering the biggest stories, plus events and highlights. Available on Peacock, Roku channel, Samsung TV Plus, and more. Visit NBCSports.com/now for details.